Hey guys, so this is going to be a very poorly put together behind the scenes of my experience at the morning show. I didn't really think any of this through because it was quite last minute, but I just wanted to show you what it's like to go on air on TV. So join me. So because of COVID, the makeup artists aren't doing full faces in studio anymore. And I've been doing my makeup. It's my second time doing my makeup on my own, and I don't know what was going on today. It was just looking crazy in real life, but thankfully on TV the makeup actually looked great. I don't know what was going on with my eyes. I actually think I need to get my eyes tested because I was like, what is this? When I actually looked in the mirror and there was proper light. So the actual experience itself was really cool. Being on a live air environment is quite daunting because any sound that you make can be picked up on a live broadcast, and you don't want to be that girl that ruins the show. So I found myself tiptoeing a lot throughout the time I spent on set. But one thing that I've learned from my first two experiences on TV, I actually can't believe it, it's crazy, that you need to exaggerate your posture. I generally have poor posture, so I've been trying to work on it, especially in these kinds of environments. So my boyfriend was trying to prompt me here to sit up straight because it was so evident in the last one how poor my posture was. And it also makes you look a little bit self-conscious. It also stops you from being able to well articulate your or verbalize your words, because you need to be able to collect air. And it's one of those like vocal training techniques that people teach you, like when you sing. Once upon a time I used to be in a choir, so they always told us like stand up straight, let in all the air into your lungs so that you can let out the sound really well. So I was trying to do that throughout, and it's crazy how for me I was doing so much work for probably just felt like she always sits like that, but she was really a great host for me on the show. Really helped me loosen up because actually I suffer from stage fright. It's ironic because I used to do public speaking and debating, but being on live TV, knowing that there's so many people watching you, it can be quite nerve-wracking. So I had to keep trying to like prompt myself to calm down and be engaged in the conversation. But there was this moment where I sort of got lost, and you're going to pick it up when she asks me a question. But I guess my biggest learning was just take a breath. When things go wrong like that, it's okay, just pick up from where you left off, and it ends up working out fine. Because for the people that were actually present in studio, they said they didn't feel like anything went wrong, but I know I lost my train of thought and she had to bring me back. So yeah, hey, being on live TV is something else. But obviously, guys, I'm super thankful for the opportunities that I've been given, especially over the past year. I've been so blessed, and yeah, I just want to say thank you to all of you for supporting me. And yeah, if it wasn't for you, I don't know if any of these opportunities would have come my way. So thank you for supporting me. Please subscribe my channel. And now I'm going to play the actual clip of the interview so you can watch. Hopefully there'll be more to come so that I can do a better vlog of the experience. But thank you for watching and enjoy the interview.
I mean, I don't know why you're starting on me, because really it's about the hair. Look at Sihle David's back with us, talking about hair care issues. And today we're talking about maintaining your hairline. Oh, this can be a big bone of contention for people. And it can be an emotional struggle because your hair is your crown. It can be really challenging if you are struggling to get a healthy hairline going. So Sihle is, the guru when it comes to treatments, products, and taking care of your hair. Welcome back to the morning show.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for that gracious introduction.
Why is hairline stuff so hectic for Black women?
So again, it's genetics. We predisposed to have a hairline that's a little bit more sensitive. So a lot of women, as our hormones change,
we start suffering from things like alopecia, traction alopecia, and your hair just falling out. So unfortunately, it's just one of the many blessings/curses of being a woman with melanin.
An African queen.
Yeah, an African queen. But you know, I think it's things we can manage it if we actually take the time to understand what are the things that could potentially cause the hair loss. And
we're going to go through that now. So I just want to open up the voice note line, right? Because I'm sure there are people who have questions, who have maybe even walked this path and things that you've discovered worked for you to rejuvenate your hairline or to take care of your hairline, or maybe even a hairline horror story if you want to share it with us. The voice notes can be sent to the number that's on your screen right now. So Sihle, you mentioned alopecia, traction alopecia. Let's go through a few of the causes potentially of hairline loss.
Okay, so one of the things that could potentially cause your hairline kind of giving away is traction alopecia caused by too much tension on your hairline. So often when we leave the salon, we leave and our facial structure has changed. That is not a good sign.
You've been pulled to the wall.
Your face is pulled, and that is actually really bad. And a lot of people think, oh my gosh, I want my braids to be very tight, but your hair does not need to be braided so tight. It's probably one of the things that is probably causing your hairline to be weighed down, stressed, and then that ultimately causes the breakage. And for some people, it actually damages their hair follicles. So you actually can't undo that.
I mean, that sounds like a disaster, because you're not just breaking the hair, but you're uprooting the hair.
Yes, exactly.
And can hair come back if it's been uprooted?
So it depends. I mean, I've had a few instances where I've actually caused too much tension on my hair, and because I didn't damage my follicles, at least it was able to come back. But it's kind of hard to tell unless you can get somebody to professionally assess it.
Sure.
So if you pull out your hair and it feels bald, it's super shiny, you might have done irreparable damage to your hairline.
Oh my gosh.
So it's kind of tricky to tell, but that's probably one of the signs that you've done too much.
And then alopecia, that can come from hormones, that can come from, I mean, I suppose it is hormones. If you have a stressful incident, your body does something and releases something and your hair starts falling out. What is the prevalence of that in our South African communities?
I mean, our population is majority Black, you know, so a lot of women are struggling with that. And I mean, as we are getting older, I think because we have children, you know, after you have children, your hormones are in flux. That also kind of aggravates that whole process, and why there are so many women that are struggling with growing back their hairline.
So when we talk about protective styles, we want to have braids. We want to maybe even put a weave or wig or whatever it is on top of our hair. But how can we make sure that the person who's installing all of these in our hair is super aware and careful to look after our hairlines?
So let me just give you the definition of a protective style.
Okay, yes.
So a protective style is something that's supposed to either put your hair away or stop you from manipulating your hair, right? So even the style that I have currently could be seen as a protective style because I could potentially keep it for a few days without fidgeting with my hair.
Okay.
So what a lot of people don't understand is that a protective style can only be a protective style if you are actually looking after your hair. So one of the things that I look for when I'm installing my braids is, again, the pulling, the tension. If I'm wearing a wig, the friction that comes from wearing your wig. I always recommend wearing something like a pantyhose on your hair, on top of your cornrows. Pantyhose, stocking.
Listen, pantyhose is the most necessary thing in a house. If you want to dust, use a pantyhose. If you want to shine shoes, use a pantyhose. If you want to protect your hair, pantyhose.
Yeah. So reduce the friction with things like that, and that should help.
Okay, brilliant. I mean, I ask specifically about the relationship that one has with the hairstylist, the kohesalunu, what it is that you say to them.
Yeah.
Because often it feels, and it has for me felt like I have no agency. Once I'm sitting in that seat, it's up to them and they're going to tell me what to do no matter what I say. So how would you recommend you go about selecting the person who's going to do your hair?
Yes.
And talking them through what it is that you want while still, of course, conceding to their knowledge?
So speak up. As I said last time I was here, we need to take ownership of our hair. You can't solely put the responsibility of your hair care on a hairstylist. When you feel like you're getting that pull and you're feeling uncomfortable while they're doing your hair, speak up and say, my hair's too tight. At the end of the day, you're paying for the service. You owe it to yourself to look after your hairline, because that person could be doing damage that cannot be undone, and you've paid for the service, you know. So it's unfair to you, it's unfair to them as well, because they can't feel what you're feeling while you're doing your hair. So just speak up and say it's too tight, loosen it up, or I'm uncomfortable.
What about chemicals? So relaxing your hair, is that part of a natural hair or not natural hair?
So, I mean, there's a lot of controversy around natural hair, Afro hair, and relaxers. Honestly, I kind of tell the difference between the two by saying it's Afro hair, which is the state my hair is currently, and then some people say my hair is natural because it's relaxed, but this is the way
your hair.
My hair is out, right? The whole thing around relaxers is that they break down the chemicals in your hair. So it's not at its most natural state. So for me, that's, I think, the distinction.
So I bring that up because in that changing of the chemicals in your hair, can that do damage to your hairline?
It can potentially, because it's basically thinning out your hair.
Yes.
It's changing the way your hair grows out your scalp.
Yeah.
So if you're altering the natural state of your hair, it's likely that it could potentially be doing damage. So.
Okay, so be very, very careful. I think that's the message, right? Do some research, be careful, and speak up for yourself when it comes to your hair. We've got some voice notes, and after that, we're going to talk about solutions, right? So we've laid out what the issue is, and then we're going to talk about what do you do if you've got a hairline problem, how can we fix it? Let's listen to the voice notes first.
Good morning, show. Dake kopa botsa David hore ke na le bosadi moriri wa hae a o hole sis ke bojala o na le moriri wa bojala and o dula complaina ka ona. What's the problem?
Morning all. I'm watching morning show. Like Usisi, ngiyambona une nice natural hair, which is I love it. But mine, the thing is, hairline, yo, ngathi ngizophuma nempandla very soon. Hayi, hairline yala. Natural hair ithi nikhona, but hairline ithi no.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really big common issue, and you can hear that she's making it a joke so that she can actually protect her heart, because it becomes emotional. I've had extreme hair loss over my life in various places, alopecia, and so, you know, it can be something that affects your self-esteem. So let's talk about solutions. The first voice note says, my wife's hair just won't grow at all. Could be potentially what?
So it might be health related, and that's what a lot of people often neglect. What are the things that have changed in your lifestyle? Have you been feeling a little bit down? Even have you had a baby recently? Because also that might also contribute to it. There are a lot of health implications to hair growth, so go see a dermatologist as a start.
Okay. And then solutions for potential hair loss.
So I start off by just doing as little to my hair as possible. Some people start throwing in 10,000 concoctions. Stick to one routine, and that's cleansing your hair regularly, hydrating it, and giving it the oils, and using things like the lock method that we spoke about last time.
Yes.
Yeah, but doing less and just giving your scalp some love, massaging it, keeping it healthy and clean, those are the things that help.
Other solutions we can look forward to and exploring?
So there are some tools that you can use in the kitchen Things like rice water. I'm a fan of rice water.
Yes.
Again, it's a natural protein. Some people do things like using a tea rinse. So you can use any tea, just like you're making yourself a cup of tea, and then rinse your hair out with it. But you would need to do like a moisture treatment after that treatment.
Hang on, you're talking things that are very gentle, because now I know you rub Vicks in, or you rub amla oil in, or you do all sorts of extreme things to make the hairline come back. Are those fact or fallacy?
So the key thing you said there is gentle. You need to be gentle on your hairline. Your hair at the front of your head is probably the finest, the most delicate. So the mentholated Vicks and those type of things, it's the menthol that people are advocating for, but it could clog your pores. So clog your pores.
Yeah.
So just manage how much you do, but less is more, honestly.
Less is more.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
listen, we wish you absolutely everything of the best to that lady who sent in a voice note. I know how that feels. And if you'd like more information, you can follow Sihle Davids. Tell us your social media.
It's All Things by Sihle on all platforms. So that's Instagram and TikTok and YouTube.
And if you missed out on that conversation from last week, it is on the morning show on social media. Sihle, always a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. All right, let's take a short break. I believe your sports news is coming up next.